Governor, you touched on some of the things at the UN. Can you talk about the troubling diplomatic assault against Israel to deny the Jewish presence on the Temple Mount on the eve of Hanukkah, no less, at the end of the Obama administration? Talk about those diplomatic efforts to delegitimize Israel.
I think it's very important. Every time I bring a group here, I always point out that the UN headquarters in Israel sits upon the Mount of Evil Council.
That's right.
And I think what an appropriate location for the UN to be.
But God has a sense of humor.
He does have a sense of humor. I wish more people did.
Yes.
Here's, I think, the summation of the UN. They make no rational decisions anymore. When you put people like Iraq and Russia in charge of human and humanitarian efforts, I think you make it a laughing stock.
Yeah.
And they have put totalitarian nations that are misogynist and anti-woman and violate human rights across the spectrum. They put those countries in charge of the very things that they're most guilty of violating.
Yeah.
And I really think the best thing we could do with the UN, and I know this is rather bold view, get some jackhammers, cut that thing off right around the entirety, float it out into the East River, and ask anybody who would like to host it to come pick it up and tow it away and have at it.
Governor, I think many of our viewers would agree with that sentiment. Hey, let me ask you, we have an uptick in anti-Semitism around the world.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing, including in Europe in
Yeah.
particular. Why is it so important in these dangerous times for Christians, for followers of Jesus, to stand with Israel and the Jewish people?
People need to realize that whatever target is placed on Jews will ultimately be placed upon Christians. There were more hate crimes against Jews. In fact, it was right at 80% of the hate crimes in the most recent FBI statistics in America that were directed toward Jews. 14% against Muslims, and the rest of it was everyone else. So the number one target when people want to talk about hate crime, it's not Muslims, it's not even Christians, it's Jews. But let's never forget that what is coming to the Jew today is coming to the Christian tomorrow. And we need to realize that the Holocaust, which was targeted largely to Jew, also targeted many Christians if they had any support for the Jews or for other reasons, if they just didn't support the genocide of the Nazis.
Yeah.
So it's vital that as believers, we recognize who our friends are, who our enemies are, and we stand against all of the forms that try to destroy a nation that gives people a vote, that gives women rights, that allows men and women to have equal access to education and health care, that protects the rights of even the people who disagree with them.
Governor, I saved the best for last.
Okay.
Word is that your great show that you had on Fox News for years is moving here to TBN. This is exciting news. Can you tell us more about it?
It's going to be a positive, uplifting show. It's going to be fun. We'll talk about issues, but not in a harshly partisan way, but in a practical, non-ideological way. Yeah. But we're also going to tell the great stories of people who are the real heroes of our world, people you never hear about on the front pages of the paper, but they're going to be front and center in the kingdom of heaven for having done great things for other people in a sacrificial way. The Good Samaritans of the world, if you will. Yeah. We're going to call them Huck's heroes, and we'll look at them. We're going to have music and fun.
You might play a little bass.
You know, if I can find a group of musicians who are bold enough to let me play. Normally, what people used to say about my playing on the Fox show, they said, I saw you playing with Willie Nelson. Gee, I saw you play with Leonard Skinner or, even Def Leppard. And I didn't know you were that good. And my answer was always an honest one. I'm not that good, but it's my show. What are they going to do? Tell me I can't? So, yeah, I expect to play a few bass lines with some guests.
Governor, this is exciting. We can't wait to see it here, only on TBN. And, hey, maybe we get with some Israeli musicians here.
Why not?
Who knows? Who knows? I expect you will be back, and on the show you'll be talking Israel and this issue as well. Governor, it was great. We'll see you soon here on TBN on a regular basis. God bless you, Governor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be
with you. Really
appreciate
it. Thanks again to Governor Mike Huckabee for joining us in Jerusalem. And be on the lookout, folks, for his brand new weekly show coming exclusively here to TBN very soon. If you love the Governor's Fox News show, you are going to love his new program only right here on TBN. Well, up next, hear the harrowing story of the ISIS genocide of Christians in the Middle East from a man who has seen it firsthand. You will not want to miss this. Don't move.